Hello, it's that time of the week again, a Wardy's Waffle Farm update. You can see behind me, if I just move a bit nearer out of the garden, I'm just up at the heath at the minute where Rhonda and I live, and you can see there sugar beet in the background. This weather we're getting at the minute, this sugar beet is really appreciating it. So a lot of rain at the moment. Just to touch on the rainfall figures we have had in July, I know we've still got a day or two to go. At the moment we've had about 118 millimetres of rain, and I've been keeping rainfall figures for 27 years, and this is the third wettest July in that 27 years. Previous records were 190 millimetres in July 2002, and then 2007 we had 160 millimetres, and up to now 118. So you can see where we are on our rainfall figures, but I'm going to go through maybe midweek update next week, the weather figures in a bit more detail than that, but that's where we are at the moment. Anyway, this week's update, we are looking at soloing with our Simba Solar and the 8RX, some land that's coming into stewardship, being long-term haylage, that's now going to be into wildflowers. We're looking at that. We also are looking at some drainage work. Barry's come back with his digger, and we're doing a little bit of repair work on the edge of the beet field. We've got some water stood with the rain we've had, so we need to just investigate that. We've also got, we're finishing off planting the stewardship areas. We didn't quite get it done the other day, so we're finishing off that as well. So that's it for this week's introduction. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you at the end. We've just come into the field with where we're having the wildflowers for the stewardship, and Tom's got the solo on the back. He's already done it once and it hasn't done very well, so we're crossing it at a slight angle. So we've got discs at the front there, got subsoiler loosening legs in the middle, DD packer, and then another set of discs at the back. You can see it's doing a much better job. But when you look at this bit here where I'm stood here, has only been done once. You can see how it slabbed it. Great long slabs through there. And through here it hasn't hardly touched it, which I'm not quite sure why, through there. So we're doing it again and it will chop it up. But with it being ex-grassland, it always is very slabby. And of course we've had all this rain, 35, 40 millimetres of rain last 3 or 4 days. But to be honest, it's not bad soil here, so I don't think it's hasn't done it too much harm. But what we're going to do with this, we'll let it dry a bit, then we'll put the culture press in and press it, get it work ready, and then hopefully get it greened up with some more grasses and a few weeds, and then spray off with glyphosate before we put the wildflowers in. And then it will be down. It's not going to be like our other stewardship areas where they're going to be only down for 2 or 3 years. This will be down indefinitely. Our margins at the farm around the other, all the rest of the fields, they were established in 2005, so they've been down a long while. And if you do them properly, they do last a long while. Yeah, it is chopping it up well there, a lot better than the first time. Top of the hill there, it's not very nice soil, it's sort of blue yellow clay all along that ridge top, but in the middle here it's nice. It's been down for grass now the last probably 7 or 8 years, and we did used to crop it, but it's just become very awkward here. It's about 4 hectares, so 10 acres, but we had to unpack the combine on the road, put the header on the road, and it made it awkward filling the drill up with seed, so it's just easier to put it into a stewardship scheme. So just while Tom stopped here, got a set of discs at the front at an angle. We can alter those. The further that goes forward there on that slot, the stunter angle is, the more they'll cut. You've then got the loosening legs in the middle, and there's 6 of those. You can see the wings are quite aggressive when you look at that, but it loosens it underneath. There's 6, yeah, in total there. Then you've got DD packer. You've seen this here because we've had to change the bearings in this pillar. last autumn. So the DD packer firms and chops it, gets it ready for the next set of discs to chop and firm it at the back. Then we can put something else on there if we want to put another press or something at the back. Tom's just lining up now to do the first breed of the outsides. So he's done all the inside of the field twice. DDs are making a bit of a squawking noise. I hope the bearing's not going again. I've got Brad and Chris here from Channel 5. They're just doing a piece about the weather and the impacts of climate and the wet weather we're having on crop production and food production. And they're just in the crop at the minute of this one of these fields of wheats that were planted on the weekend of the 9th and 10th of November. That it's been really gappy along the headland, as you know, and so they're doing a piece there. We've just done a piece as well on the headland, the edge of the field, that we had sugar beet in, that we couldn't plant it, and we put spring barley in the rest of the field. And then obviously just here we've got this field of sugar beet that we planted on May the 5th, but this is just one spot. You can see water stood here because last night we had 18 millimetres of rain. That's Wednesday night, we had 18 millimetres of rain, and I'll do a little bit about the weather at the end. I think this is one of our best pieces of wheat. Decent soil, sugar beet land, and this is after spring beans planted, I think about October the 14th, because that's when we first got the John Deere last year. But when you look at that, full crop there, no blackgrass in it, and that is gleam, so a bit of potential there, I think. In my intro, I mentioned that we didn't get the stewardship areas planted last week because the rain beat us. Well, this week Tom managed to get those finished, and here he is doing that. You just see got a little bit of track slip. We just need some discs in front of all these legs. We can see it loosening it, putting it in, and the seed going down in there in each of the tubes. So all the tubes are dead in line with the leg. Then the packer to firm it there. Then when we put in rape in, we can put liquid fertiliser in here if we want, through those nozzles there in line with the leg as well. And then this DD packer just firms it at the back. And this started off life as a 6 metre solo, and then Philip Wright designed it along with myself, and we've made it into this rape establishment machine. It started off 13 legs, it's now 11, because when it was a real wet year when we first made it in 2012, and we couldn't pull it because it had 2 metal packers in as well. Anyway, I'll follow alongside it and we'll see it working alongside as it's running. You can see the legs loosening all the soil between there. You see the ground lifting and shattering. And then the seed coming out. And then it's littering it amongst the loose soil that the legs loosened, and then it's firmed with the rollers. The seed is in the hopper there underneath the sheet, and then the tank is for the liquid fertiliser that we used to use when we put it on rape. We still might go back to oilseed rape yet, but with the yields people are having this year, I was going to go, we were thinking of doing it this year, but I don't think we will now. You can see alter the depth of the legs by the holes and just lower the leg down on that pin and it goes a bit deeper. So we made this in 2011. It took us about a year to make it. Then the first year we had it was that real wet year in 2012. That front rubber roller was a DD roller and it acted just like a brake because it was really, really wet, and the quad track we had then couldn't pull it very well. So we changed that rubber roller, the DD roller, for a rubber roller. We took a leg off either side and reduced the width of it, and that's when we've been using it since with the quad track, with the 620 quad track. And now this John Deere is pulling it remarkably well, considering it's 200 horsepower less and 9 tons lighter. Tom's just moving the trailer load of haylage. That's bales that haven't been any good for the horses, the last remnants. They're going to Palomine. They've got livestock near Lincoln, taking them tomorrow. They'll go in a diet feeder mixed with some sugar beet, pulp, maize, various bits and bobs. There's some good hay in there, but there's some that's not so good, so it all mix in. Cattle will eat it. Brad and Chris are still here and just editing this piece ready for Channel 5. I'll just nip in the van and just show you how they've got like a little mobile office in here. They are hard at work editing it. Here's Brad's just, that's what's on the screen at the minute. All good, Brad?
All good.
Brilliant.
We're almost there.
Excellent. You coupled up to the yard Wi-Fi?
We're coupled up to the Wi-Fi.
Good. We've got a hotspot just at the top of the van. You can just see across there. Got good Wi-Fi here.
And in about 40 minutes, it should be broadcast live.
Oh, fantastic. There we go. On the screen there.
There you are. That's you.
Yes. Brilliant. So it's fairly hot in here. So while they're working, I've just brought Brad a glass of cold water, and look at that.
5-star treatment. Can you believe it?
Look at that. Here we go.
Milk chocolate.
There we go.
What more do you want?
Fantastic. It's been too wet to do the job around the house with the 18 millimetres of rain we had last night. It's Thursday today, so Barry's just got a bit of spare time, so he's just come with his wheeled digger into this sugar beet field that you've seen early on in this clip, and you've also saw when we're planting the sugar beet we've got this problem with the drain. As the drain runs full length of this field, so I'll just flick the camera around and just show you what's going on. So this is the field that we planted on May the 5th, which is very late for sugar beet, probably 6 weeks late, but it's really made up a lot of growth, and I'm quite pleased with how it looks at the moment. But we have a problem with the drain. There's a drain runs that end, there's a beck just at the end of this green field before the trees. There's a drain runs there all the way underneath here, underneath this wet spot where Barry's dug out, all the way where Barry is now into the next dike. It's an open-ended drain that goes both ways, so you can see, I don't know whether he's found the drain here. There's water. Yeah, there's some water coming out the side just there. Quite a lot you can see flowing there. So whether he's found the drain, I'm not sure. We'll just go up here where he is now and just have a look. So Barry's using his dividers to try and find where the drain is. They'll swing. There, he's found it underneath there somewhere, counting the rows of sugar beet. So Barry's found the pipe here, you can see there, and the stone above the drain. So that's between the rows number 5 and 6 of sugar beet there. So Barry's just going to go along up here and dig another one up here, halfway between here and that other trench is dug, to see if we can find the row. But with the sugar beet here, it's quite precise. We should know where the drain should be, but it's that deep in the middle, you can't find it. It's very wet and sticky for being the middle of July, or rather end of July. Still haven't found any stone yet. Still no stone. Really odd, we should be into the stone by now. We are 2 feet deep nearly. Bit of a scraping noise there, but something red showing up the side there. but
Well, that's strange.
we can't find anything here, despite there being a little bit of water just coming out the side of the bank there. So Barry's going up here halfway between these with his dividers just to see if he can pick a signal up there. It's crossed over there. So seeing as we can't find a drain there where Barry's dividers did twig, we can find something here. He got a signal on the dividers and straight away we've got water there, look, coming out. So it's between row 5 and 6 sugar beet. Still nothing. And we're down nearly 18 inches 2 feet here. Really odd. Still struggling, but we've got a bit of water in the trench there. Well, that's disappointing because we've had about 4 holes along here and we've only managed to find the drain in one. And you can just see here the amount of water that's in this one when you look at that, and pouring out that bank just at the side there. But we can't find any more. Look at how bad this crop is. So there's a problem here. So we're going to, the one we have found the drain, we're going to cut a little hole in it, put the drainage rods up it and just see how far they go. And then we've got to find it because there is a big problem on this headland on this edge of the field. Anyway, drawn a blank for now. Barry's got another job to go to tomorrow, but we'll be back and I'll keep you updated on this situation. So this is the beck that you've seen before. It's grown up now. This is one that Barry's going to have to do this winter with a big machine and get in. But this is the drain. You can just see a bit of there where Barry's chopped down. There is, maybe you can see it, right down the bottom there. There is a drain running. You can see that black mark. You can just see some water trickling out the bottom. And that goes all the way through here, we think, along the edge of the field, down the edge of that beet. Anyway, we'll get sorted and have a look at this another day. Barry's just heading back to the yard now. Oilseed rape storage continues. Another one's just arrived. It's first thing Friday morning. We're just sampling this lorry. We'll go in there in a minute, but it goes into a container inside the weighbridge, so we haven't got to crawl up onto the lorry to sample it, which of course isn't safe. And round here in the shed, Ruben's pushing up. Got second line of pedestals in now, which makes it more awkward pushing up. So you can see here, you've got the back into the corner. And then just keep going and going until you can't get it any higher. This is where it does take a time. And one of the reasons why we're not, this will be the last year of storage, because we're not getting paid enough for it. The industry doesn't pay enough for storage. Apparently ADM say the job won't stand it and they can't pay us anymore, but the costs in storing it, with all the electricity, we have to cool it. There are fans that go on the top of each of those pedestals and suck hot air out. It's our responsibility to cool it, look after it until ADM calls for it and it goes down to Erith and Kent to be crushed. And when you look, we get paid £12 a tonne for the whole year, and that's if it's in store. If it's in store only until say January, February, or if it's in store until June, it's the same amount. But with the cost of electricity, cost of fuel, wages, depreciation on machine, tyre wear, we wear tyres out with this machine pushing up, it just isn't enough. So this will be our last year with rape storage. So with those pedestals, you see the back ones are higher than the front, so we have to then put an extension on. You can just see there's a bit of recess there on the top, so put a recess on these. So here's Ruben just trying to get this last of the bit in the corner here. It takes some doing. And then eventually, when we can't do it anymore, we actually have to tip some loads in the corner to get the full tonnage in here. See there how high you can get it if you keep going. I think Ruben's really good here and persistent. See there. Obviously the higher you get it further back, the more tons you can get in the shed. Just going to back this lorry in now while Ruben's still pushing up. Ruben wants it right in this corner. And then the paintings on the wall, you can see the marks on the wall there for where the pedestals go, because obviously we have to put them in before there's any crop around it. So we've got the shed all marked out and divided out, and all the pedestals in line with the marks on the wall. The screw at the top there that clamps the door too, because rape's like water, it'll leak anywhere. And then there's some clamps down the bottom here, like that. And this one's one of those air doors that I was talking about the other day. You can see there's the air cylinder. And then the driver can do that and just press a button on the outside here to release it. There's the button just down there. Just going to move and change position because it's a bit too far in the corner. That's better. Keep coming if you can. The further back it goes, it's less it is for Ruben to tip. So I'll just do that button and you'll see the door. That's it. There you go. Got to watch the doorways here because it's a bit lower this door than the other ones, but we'll tip up so far, let him drive forward a yard or two and then drop it. That's it. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, you're all right. Beauty of having high doors. That's it, that's 29 tonnes tipped. Just have to blow around everywhere now so it doesn't trail it all over the yard. So that's the low tip there. Ruben's now going to move it around here and get that pushed up. I don't know how many times you need to push each load to get it back, but it's quite a lot. So that's it for the end of Sunday's update, Wardy's Waffle. For those of you who are struggling to get winter barley finished and get the oilseed rape harvested, I really feel for you because I know when you've got crops like that are desperate to get in the shed and all the weather does is just make it difficult. And every day that passes and every rain that comes, you just lose more and more of the crop. So I really feel for you. In our situation, we haven't got anything quite ready for harvesting. I think if we had a week of fine weather, which we're not going to get this week, if we had a fine week, that probably some of our earlier winter weeks will be ready, particularly the field that I showed you in the clip halfway through here that looks really well. But at the minute, with nothing doing on in the fields and such like that, so this next week, hopefully we're going to get on with the turf if we can, if the weather will allow us, and get some soil brought in and get the turf laid around the house. But we'll keep you updated on that in next week's update. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and as usual, please click like and share and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.